Okay, good. So today we are looking at common attacks. I feel this is also a foundational topic in cybersecurity because the word attacks is what is common every time. People are experiencing cybersecurity attacks every day, every now and then. And fundamentally, this is what you are doing as a cybersecurity person. You are checking, you are preventing attack, or when an attack happens, you are making sure that the attack doesn't stop your operations, it doesn't affect you. So you need to understand the kind of attack, different type of attacks that happen. So today we are looking at some common attacks. Of course, there are a lot of different kind of attacks that happen, but we are looking at four common types today. Four common ones that you may experience regularly, and we're also looking at what is how some of them work and the things that you can do to stop them. We are going to do a practical demonstration also of some how to how some of these attacks work, how to stop it, how to mitigate it. So we're going to have a practical demonstration too. So I will run through this lecture or the story parts quickly so that we can take time to do the practical. So we have common attack. Here I have about four different major types. We have the social engineering, phishing, we have malware and ransomware, password and authentication. So those ones I will call it password attacks, password and authentication attacks. So these are four very common attacks that people experience. And what makes makes them common is because these ones are not particular to organizations. It's not only in organization or corporate environment that you see this attack. Social engineering, for example, happens every day on Facebook, on social media generally, even offline. We see people using social engineering. People trying to exploit people by getting information from them. That's social engineering. So social engineering happens. Phishing is also a very common one today. Uh, you by the time you open two or three pages online and you're reading about cybersecurity, you hear something about phishing. So phishing is a very common attack too. Then we have malware, ransomware too is everywhere now. Password and authentication. Of course, everybody has password. Everybody makes use of password, and that's why it's everywhere too. Because every device you use can take password, and because password is protecting it's supposed to protect your confidentiality. So people want to break into it. Hackers are always looking at breaking into it. It's like stealing your key, having access to your resources or your house. So that's password and authentication. So these common attacks uh, happen are frequent experience that most users of digital devices have. Now we are going to social engineering. So starting with social engineering, social engineering is basically a human attack where human beings is the target. So this is when they are trying to get information from you or get something out of you as a human being. So the other attack may be trying to hack your device, maybe hack your phone, hack your laptop, or hack your network. But in this case, you are trying to hack the human being. So when someone picks up a phone and is trying to find an information from you, is trying to manipulate it in such a way, use psychology to get information from you. For example, the person can pretend to as if he's in an emergency and he's trying to tell you that you should please help him, or tell you that he try to pretend as if he knows you from somewhere, maybe because he has seen you wear a t-shirt or check your Facebook profile and see that you're a student or you were a student of a particular school, and then the person forms story around that and trying to extract information, extract resources from you, as a human being without, not going through your devices. So this is social engineering. Basically, human being is the target, and then this is usually multi-layered and it has a snowball effect in the sense that multi-layered in the sense that they need different levels of access to you, in the sense that, for example, they may find they usually have the social engineering involves having a little information, then that little information will be used to get more information from you. That is the multi-layer effect. Like I knew you. For example, I know that you're a student. You were a student of a particular school. Maybe I know your secondary school now. I know how you're a student of this secondary school. That information, I will now use it to try and find out maybe where you live. For example, now I can stage form a story like how when you a student of so secondary school, you say yes, I was there too between so year and so year. That one will prompt you to say, oh no, I wasn't there in that year. I would not answer, what year were you there? If you tell me the year immediately now, I have that information from you. I can pick that information. I can have God that goes, that period of time I was living in so place. Where were you living? Trying to get those information using psychology. By the time we finish conversation, I might have found out the year you finished school, the place you are staying, some of the names of your friends, probably the kind of class you are. Maybe you're a science student. I can gather such information from just from you know conversation. That is social engineering, and then it has a snowball effect in the sense that it can affect you, it can affect your friends, it can affect your family. It can extend easily because social engineering, human beings are not existing alone. So the effect can snowball into other things. So that is it. Then social engineering can be carried out using USB storage devices. For example, people can store things in USB storage and drop it. The social engineering sense of it is that, for example, if I have a malware or I have a virus, I store it in a flash drive. And I know from my investigation from social engineering, I know that people always loiter around a particular area, maybe your workplace. I know your workplace. I know the path you follow to your house. I've already used social engineering to get your address. I know definitely if you see something in your area, you want to pick it up and say, oh, who owns this? I can drop this USB storage, for example, in your company environment, hoping that somebody will pick it up and then want to find out what is inside and plug it in. Then whatever virus or whatever malware that is inside the USB will attack. Then charging cable also is social engineering in the sense that people always need to charge their phones. Human beings need to charge their phone. And the idea is that you can know where people stay. For example, people are traveling in airports. I can plug a charging cable. And these charging are not just charging cable, they are charging cable with some things. There are softwares embedded inside this charging cable. So when they plug this charging cable, you think that it's just a normal charging cable because you are traveling, you are in need of something, and then you quickly plug this cable into your phone, and then your phone becomes infected, and then access your data is exfiltrated. So that is how charging cable, social engineering. These are all involving social engineering. Then we have how do you stop it? Usually they say use multiple form of identification. For example, if I pick a phone and I call you and I'm pretending to be somebody that you know, by the time you ask me several questions, to verify the authenticity of my personality, you find out information. And also maybe I was able to guess your password from conversation, maybe from your name, from your birthday. I get your password because you use multiple authentication. I need more than password. Maybe there's a token and some other things too that I will not be able to get through social engineering. Maybe your fingerprints, for instance. I can't use social engineering to get your fingerprints. Then don't plug, external media. They always use proof of identity. Proof of identity is simply talking that something that proves the person you are. You know, Usually proof of identity could be biometrics. You know, like your fingerprint, your eyes, iris, can this as proof of identity. Then we have phishing here. Phishing, like I said, is very common. Basically, it's a section of social engineering. Phishing, what phishing is doing is basically trying to trick you to go to a website that is not safe. So, as a cybersecurity person, you should be able to identify websites that are safe and ones that are not safe. This is a subsection of social engineering anyway, and it involves not just technical. It involves not just the device. It involves human side too. Because The information, for example, one of the things that happen in phishing, like you don't know, is like they want to pretend like something is urgent, like something is they're trying to hurry you up in the message. So to click something, that is not the right thing. When you click it, you land in a different place. So that is a form of social engineering, which is done through phishing. Phishing trying to trick you to go to a website. Then we have general phishing, we have spear phishing. General phishing is a phishing that is just targeted to everybody generally, nobody in particular in mind. Then spear phishing is when I target you, that I want to hack you. Spear phishing would mean that I will come, I will compose the phishing attack directly to for you. In such cases, like the phishing attack that will make sense to somebody may not make sense to another person. So that spear phishing is targeted to someone. Then whaling is when you are targeting top executives, like CEOs, CFOs, the top guys in a company or in an organization or in an institution. Those are whales. They refer to big people, big shots as whales. So when you say whaling, it means you are fishing. You are trying to fish, a whale. So that's for fishing. I'm sure you're familiar with fishing. So if you're looking at fishing here, if you look at the screen, you see example when you have www.https royalmail.co.uk. Instead of royalmail.co.uk. This one has royal. The mail, if we look at the mail here, the L is one, royal mail one.co instead of mail. And these are little things that they do. https.amazon.co.uk. They can change it, and then by the time you click on it, you land at am4s, zone.uk.co.uk, which is a completely different thing. So that's how phishing works. I'm sure you have a fundamental knowledge of how phishing works. Then we have malware. Malware is basically a malicious software. So these are software that perform malicious actions. Then we have two kinds of malware. We have the generic malware, and then we have the ransomware. So because of the impact, I think it's often separated, and because of the way it operates, they often separate. Ransomware is usually stands out amongst all malware. But we have general malware, that these are just any software that is performing malicious actions on your system. But ransomware are specialized kind of malware. Then malware, they operate in what we call like command and control, C2/C and C. So command and control is basically talking about a malware, or a software that sets up or infects a target and then communicates back to the server so that the server can control that target. So what is basically simply saying is that if you send a software, if you infect the device in an organization, the hacker that sends that infected, that software, that malicious software, the hacker may be sitting several kilometers away. But what will happen is that when the software gets to the target, gets to that organization, the software will activate a connection and connect back to the hacker wherever he is, so that the hacker will not have control. So it means that the malicious software will run a command on the target and then give control to the hacker wherever the hacker is, so that the hacker cannot control the system. So that is command and control, basically. So that is how malware usually, works. There's someone here somewhere that is reaping the benefit of what the malicious software is doing elsewhere. Now we have the ransomware. So remember I said ransomware is standing out amongst all malware because it's a special class of malware. It spreads by exploiting known vulnerabilities. Exploiting known vulnerabilities. So it means like ransomware targets some kind of vulnerabilities in devices. So it usually very, just like you say, it's specialized. It's usually strategic. Well, maybe the strategic is not the word, but it's usually focused on exploiting vulnerability. So, for example, you might hear that a software particularly is outdated, and maybe an iOS, let's say iOS 7 or iOS 8, and Apple has said, okay, they are no longer supporting that, iOS. Such iOS means it's vulnerable. That means the flaws, the new technology that have discovered solutions in it, the such iOS or will anybody that is using such iOS is vulnerable. So ransomware takes advantage of such vulnerabilities, that are known, and then they use it to exploit the system. So what happens that when the software lands in that target, in that device that is vulnerable, it will encrypt the data inside the device and make it unaccessible, and then demands for a ransom. So that's why it's called ransom, because usually the essence, the goal of ransomware is to encrypt your data, exploit vulnerability, take over the system, and then encrypt the data. When we say encrypt, it makes the data unreadable, so that you have to pay the hacker, or the person that sent that did the encryption, for the person to decrypt it back to where it was. And then for this malware, usually you need to watch out for .exe file, a PDF, a PowerShell script, which is .ps1, batch script, .bat, HTML application, .ata, JavaScript file. All these can be used to carry out to execute. So if you are dealing with any of these files I mentioned, if you see any of these files mentioned, you should scan them extra. There are some computers on some networks that when you even try to download files that are exe, your system will flag it. The antivirus will automatically block it or delete it unless there is a recognized .exe file, because usually .exe file means that the file can execute, can run on your device. So which is what malware does. Malware comes into your system, infects your system, and starts to run. The same thing, PDF. And if you notice, all these files are files that are kind of executable. They have ability to contain extra information. For example, PDF files. These are the kind of, PDF has a lot of features that you can do. You can put a password in PDF. You can embed images. And you can do a lot of things inside the PDF file. So that it makes it also a safe space for a malicious software to hide. You can think you have a PDF file, you are downloading a PDF. I mean, what that PDF file contains some scripts inside it that will run. The same thing with PowerShell script, batch script, and HTML application, and even JavaScript. So you need to watch out for this thing. If you remember when we were doing traffic, analysis, when we were talking about analyzing logs too, if you check your logs and you suddenly see, maybe you check your Wireshark logs, Wireshark is too used for scanning your traffic, and you suddenly find out that there are a lot of or a particular PDF file is being sent through the network, and you can't understand, or you can't decipher the sender. Maybe an unusual IP address is communicating with your system and is sharing a PDF file or a PowerShell script. You should flag it. These are potential dangers to your system or your network. Now, we also have password and authentication. So, meanwhile, so far, I hope you are following me. I'm sure you are following. These are fundamental. Charles.
Yes, sir, I'm following you, sir.
Yeah, okay.
With you.
So then we have passwords and authentication. Now, passwords is used for authentication. Password is the keyword or the phrase or that which you use to authenticate yourself. Authentication basically talking about authenticity, making sure that the right person is the one trying to do something, authenticate. That's what authentication. So in this case, we are talking about an attack that is centered around passwords and authentication. And because of this, you are talking about password security. So what makes your password secure? What goes on with password and authentication? So the first thing here is you need to have a strong password, because passwords are usually stolen. Password can be, once your password is stolen, it means the person has access, So you need a strong password. So the first thing, because and why do you need a strong password? So because there are software now that can crack, password, or they can guess your password. They have software that you can set to a login page, and they will be generating password. We are going to part of the demonstration we are going to do now. We're going to see how you can generate password. So there are tools that you can use to generate password. But the stronger your password, the more difficult it is for a tool to just randomly, generate your password. You can see an example of a strong password on the screen here, which contains an alphanumeric, it contains a capital letter, it contains small letter, it contains numbers, it even contains some unusual, it contains dates, some unusual dates. It's not just a single date. You can see it's even a range of date. All these things inside one password. So this is a very strong password. Then we also can make use of passphrase. So when you're talking about passphrase, meaning that you type long a phrase, that is supposed to be act like a password. So instead of just saying one single word like you have above, you can see this one say Vim is obviously indisputably the best text editor. So this is such a long, a phrase that there's no way it will be difficult for anybody to remember that. It will even be difficult for any software to generate um to generate such a passphrase. Then we have what we call weak password. So a weak password is an example of a weak password is what you use. Let me just use your name and date of birth, and maybe one alphanumeric. That's such a very easy to guess password, because if your name, most likely the person that holds power, his name, either his name is Garrett, he has a child that is bearing Garrett, or maybe he has a parent that is Garrett, or sibling that is Garrett. So such person will Garrett, and also Garrett is a word that's also like a popular word. So if a software is generating password for an hacker, Garrett may be one of the names that are popular names that can be picked, and then of course most of the software to know that people combine name and date. We just combine Garrett 20. By the time you start from Garrett 2000, Garrett 2001, Garrett 2002, it gets to 2012, and then it unlocks whatever I want to unlock. So an example of a weak password is that. Then we have an exposed password. So an exposed password, like even though a password is strong, it can be exposed. It means that why a password can get exposed is that because some of the places where we are signing in, where we are using our password, they don't have a solid protection. They don't have a good enough protection for your password. For example, you go to a website and you have to create a password to log in. So when you create that password, what they do is that they keep a copy of your password in their system, so that the next time when you want to log in, you will compare the password you type to the password they have in their system, and if it matches, then your access is granted. So, and when such is a website that collects your password, it gets hacked, all the passwords in their own database can be exposed, and that is how usually passwords get exposed online. If you go online, so this website there that you can see here is about on. It means if you go to you can put your email address, you can put your password, and it will scan the database that it has. Scan it. So this have been pwned has a database of password and email addresses that have been compromised in the past. That some hackers are just doing this thing for fun. They will just hack into a place and get all the username and password and post it online free. So it means such passwords have been exposed, and it means that those tools that they use to generate password will reference such available database in the public, which is such a huge thing, because you can imagine most people will still not change their password if they are moving on to a new password. So platform. So the likelihood that if you are using any password that's been exposed, it can easily be the password can always easily be breached, and compromised. And still on the password and authentication. So when we're talking about password security, usually passwords that can be in can be three things can be done to it. Passwords can be in plain text, so but gradually, most websites, most places, it's becoming a thing that your site must be encrypted, must be secured. So, and regulators and standards organizations that ensure that websites meet up to security will not allow. Usually, they speak against or don't allow you to just maintain password in plain text. So when you have a password in plain text, it means the password is exposed. So then we can have password encrypted. So encrypt password encryption. So for password security, it needs to be encryption. So our encryption uses keys and it can be reversible. So encryption is basically saying that making something into an unreadable format using a code. So when you encrypt a password, for example, if your password is um, my king 2001, my king 2001 is your password. If it's encrypted can change that my king 2001 into 1002 king my. Just an example. Usually it's more difficult. The encryption is more solid than that. But what I'm saying is that there's a formula. You can create a formula you know for encryption. For example, an encryption will do something like adding zero to after every word. Maybe that my king 2001. After M it has zero. After Y it has zero. That's the key. That just add zero after every letter. That's the key. So somebody that wants to reverse it will also it just simply means remove the zeros in between the letters and you get it. So encryption is simply saying it makes something unreadable, by using of keys, and it is always reversible. Now we now come to the main one, which is password hashing. Password hashing is considered the option, in terms of securing your password properly and being able to authenticate well. Password hashing usually takes an input. So in this case, the password that you have, picked is the input for hashing. Because remember, password, the earlier one we said you encrypt your password. This one you are hashing the password. So the password becomes the input into a complicated, mathematical algorithm, which algorithm will now generate when it works on your password as the input, it will generate a very unique output. And when we say unique output, it means that even with the slightest changes in the input, which is the password, the output will be different. For example, if your password is capital M, we say my king, with capital M. If you hash that my king, the output you will get will be different from if the my king, if the M is a small case. So the fact that just a single small case, in fact, if you just put a dot, a full stop at the end of the statement, and in the other one you didn't put a full stop, the hash will be different. If you put just a comma, if you keep space, if you just increase the space between the letters and you hash it, the hash will be different from the one that you didn't have any space. So hashing is very secure, because the algorithm is complicated and usually it comes out with a fixed length, no matter what. you know, why it has a fixed length is like the algorithm you choose to use. If you pick a particular algorithm that you're using, that algorithm, that hashing algorithm will always generate the same length for all, no matter how long the password, even if it's a phrase, no matter how long, how different the input you are giving it is, the output will always be different. So what are we saying now? We can have a mathematical algorithm that always produce a hash in 32 bits. Let's assume the particular algorithm, whenever it hashes 32 bits out. That's what the algorithm does. So if you like, let the password be 500 letters. The output of that hashing will always be 32 bits. If you like, let it be just one letter. The output will be same length. So although your output will be unique, if you put one and dot and not and you hash it, it will give you unique output. But this output will always be of the same length, no matter how diverse the input, which is the password, is. And the thing there, which is very most important, is it is irreversible. Once you hash it, an input, a password, whatever you decide to hash, once you hash it, you cannot reverse that particular hash back. Unlike the encryption, where I said if you encrypt something, all you need is the key. When it's like you lock a door, to unlock the door, you use the key. But hashing is like, it's permanent. Once you hash it, you can't reverse that hash back. You can't like now look for another mathematical algorithm that will reverse or calculate. No, it's not hashing. So hashing is irreversible and fixed length. Now, looking at generating, passwords. Okay. So now, um, I've talked about passwords. So password, we talk about the importance of generating very strong or having a strong password. So there are tools that you can use to generate passwords, and this is common in cybersecurity. For example, if you are working as a cybersecurity analyst for an organization, and in that organization, maybe you have like, you know 50 devices and all of them need passwords, and you want them to have secure passwords. You can use such tools to generate password for all of them. It will help you to generate password. So we are going to look at that in a minute, which will form out of the practical sessions that we're going to be doing. Okay, yeah. So we are going to look at we are going to be looking at password generation. Let's see. So we have different types of tools that can help you generate password. There was a particular one I was trying to remember when I was putting this together, but I couldn't remember. Maybe later, if I remember, I will still talk about it. But yeah, the essence of strong password, like you said, is the risk of brute force attack. So brute force, like brute force attack is a try and error at kind of attack where the hacker is trying different things, trying to guess the password. So the stronger your password, the more difficult it is to guess. Even when they are using softwares or tools to guess, it will take a longer time for the tool to guess the password when the password is strong. So here we have we're making use of two tools here. We have password generator and open SSL. So password generator is PWGen. So if you are using Kali Linux usually comes with most of these tools installed. So if you can see here, if you do password, so iPhone H, I usually always tell you what give you the options. So you can see all the options there. Password gen options, the length and the numeric, the length of the password. So okay, then you can have iPhone C, you can capitalize, you can iPhone A, no capitalized numerals. If you want if you put iPhone 0, it won't include numbers in the password. So let's see what we get. So using PWGen, let's just without see. Let me just put. So another thing you need to put into consideration when generating password, like you said, you need the longer the password, the stronger it is, and then the longer passwords are stronger than shorter passwords. Then longer passwords with a mixture of, alphabets, capital and small letter and numbers is stronger than a just longer password that doesn't have a mixture. So all these things need to come into play. So password gen, let's do.
Hello, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm trying to impute the command the PWGen.
Okay,
It's not
maybe
working.
what does it
Is
show
there
when you press
something?
enter? What does it say when you
You
press?
know, once you impute a command that is valid, it's supposed to turn green or something,
Yes,
yeah, but
yes.
it's just the normal.
Okay,
Yeah.
are you connected to the internet? Of course, I think you should be connected to the internet if
Yes,
you
I'm
can hear me.
connected.
So if you just type pwgen and press enter, if it's not installed, it will ask if you want to install it.
Okay, yeah.
It ask you,
Yes, he asked me.
and so you press Y, so that you run through the installation.
Okay, it's installing.
And so I'm sure after installing, you'll be able to do that. Let me try and make this thing bolder. Okay. So fast forward, if you see 10, 1, you can see what the thing generated. So it means this PWGen 10 means it will have 10 characters and then just one. If I want to generate, let's say 5, maybe I have 5 devices, I want to put 5 password, I'll put 5 here. And it give me 5, you can see all the things it gave me.
Oh,
So
it's showing me that you might not run this.
you might not what?
He said you might want to run this apt fix broken install to correct this. The following package have unmet dependencies. I'm not sure
Okay.
it's not working.
And so it means that you need to update. What you should do is do sudo apt. Can you use sudo now? Do you remember your password now? Did you reinstall it?
No, I remember the password.
So do you sudo apt do sudo apt update.
Together, the app and update together.
No, 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 separated. Apt
Update. Okay.
apt update.
Okay, it's loading.
So it's supposed to it will update the dependencies and the libraries of your Kali Linux, which will make it to be able, because why that thing is not installing is saying, what he's saying is that some files he needs are not complete. So it means maybe you need to update your
An error occurred during this signature verification.
do you, okay, when you type sudo apt get update, did he ask you for any password?
No.
Mm. Do sudo apt upgrade. Let's see.
App or apt?
PT, the same apt upgrade,
Oh,
but this time upgrade instead of update.
okay. Should I share my screen so you can see?
Okay. Okay, give me a second. Let me see. I'll need to stop sharing. Okay, yeah, share your screen.
Okay. Can you see it now?
score is up.
Okay. When I did that, it showed you might want to run apt fix broken install to correct this. The following package have augment dependencies. Google Chrome. Sir?
Sudo app install that apps and install. There should be iPhone in it.
With it.
Put it together, especially with iPhone. Okay, no, sorry. Remove the iPhone. PWGN. Type the PWGN.
P.
That PWGN.
Before
No, after the install.
PWD.
WGN.
Okay.
Present. Okay. You might want to run app. Okay, so do what you say you should do. Let's try it. Sudo app install. Okay, before the install, put double iPhone sudo app double iPhone fix broken. That fix broken. Fix dash broken. That's the way they say it.
Okay.
Fix dash broken. Space install. Then space PWGN again. Okay, yeah, present. Okay. Do app that app fix broken install alone. apt speed. Just remove the PWGen. Remove the PWGen.
Okay.
See. Press enter. Could not open up. No, you put sudo there. Use sudo and remove the PWG. Yes. Type Y.
Fetch to fetch.
When you do that sudo app upgrade, we complete.
The sudo
No,
let me check it.
just use up arrow. Just press the up arrow.
Okay.
To show you the last.
The upgrade.
Yes. Do it. Let me see. There's something wrong with the I mean
with my installation.
Okay. And I want to see if your carry is connected. Please.
If it's connected to the internet.
I think it is. I sign on that. No,
No,
okay.
okay.
Let's
Let's
press the up
press the
arrow
up arrow
between the
between the
after the
after
app.
the
No,
app.
no, no, no,
No,
no.
no, 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 no.
It's the
It's
upgrade
the
I want
upgrade I
to
want to see.
see.
Uh-huh.
Before the
Before
upgrade,
the upgrade,
Yeah.
use
use
the fix
the
broken
fix
again.
broken again.
The what?
Fix
Fix
broken.
broken.
Press space
Press
and type
space and type
fix broken.
broken.
The
Yeah, okay. Press
Okay.
enter.
Press
Let's
enter. Let's
yes.
yes.
showing error.
Just leave it. Let it
Just leave
see.
it. Let it see.
Or should we continue with yours? Why
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
so that we can
Okay.
gain something
Okay.
today.
We'll continue
We'll
with it.
continue with it.
So this,
So this,
if it when it
if it
finishes,
when it
if
finishes,
you try that
if you
PWGen
try that
again, try
PWGen
to
again,
install it and it doesn't
try to
work.
install it and it doesn't
Should
work.
I control
Anything.
this or I should just allow
No,
it?
leave it. Let
No,
it
leave it.
complete.
Let it complete.
Okay.
Let it finish. When
Let
it
it finish.
finish
When it finish,
and you try
and you
the
try the
origin, if it
origin,
still
if
does
it
not
still does
install,
not install,
you just need to
you
reinstall
just need
the
to reinstall the
card.
card.
Okay.
Sometimes when
Sometimes
it's not,
was
if
it's
it's
not if
outdated
it's
with log
outdated it's not,
and the
and
database has
the
not been
database
updated
has
for
not been
long,
updated for long,
it's not
it's
connect.
not connected.
Okay, so you can stop
Okay,
sharing.
so you
So
can stop sharing. So
I can switch,
I can
Okay.
switch.
but just leave that one to be running.
Okay.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so like I said, so if the pwgen command will give you uh, a password of you can specify the number of characters. In this case, I used 10. Then I needed 5 passwords. So if you need 50 to generate 50 for you, and and you can also do it inside. You can, for example, let it generate it inside a file. Let me see if it works. So now, if you echo, no, not echo, sorry. If you cat password, you can see what happened there. Did you see it? You are familiar with what I.
Cat is to view what's inside the.
So this command, this space, I
Yeah.
generated the password and push it inside this file.
Yes.
We created this file and loaded with the password. So here I'm viewing what is inside the password. So you see what it created. So I can also, if you remember, we initially we did we used this command to see all the options. So if I don't want a capital letter, I can remove the capital letter. I can it's tell it here to include at least one number. If I do 0, it will use any number. So if I want only, if I don't want numbers, um, let me see. I don't want capital letters. I don't want numbers. Let me see. columns. Don't put the column. So if you read through these options, you can see all the things that you can do.
Get from it.
I can format it. So let's, for example, if I say uh, you should do, let me put iPhone. Let's say iPhone A and 0. It means that I don't want to see capital letter and I don't want to see numbers. Let's see what it's going to give us. Can you see it now? You can see all
Yes,
the
I can see it.
you can see all the password. There's no capital letter, there's no, because I put A and 0. Okay, so if I want to print in columns, or if I don't want to use do not use any vowels, I can say iPhone V2. I don't want to say any vowels there, so I can add V to it. Let's see what's going to give us. You can see that I use only no vowels there. So basically that's password gen. So the other, what do you call it? The other tool is Open
So,
SSL. Go ahead.
if you just impute the PWGen without including this option, like you don't want capital letter, you don't want numbers, you don't want vowels, you just put the PWGen, then 15 letters or 15, just type 15, then
Hmm?
you impute it into a file.
Yes.
So it will come out with having numbers and
Yes. Okay. So let me just do it again.
yeah,
You can see now. If you can see the screen
yeah, without removing
without
the
anything. So let's see. You can see here now. You already put small letter. I put numbers. You put
yeah,
capital letters. It has mixed everything up,
yeah,
which makes
okay,
a strong password.
strong
But
person.
maybe you just needed the password for testing something. That's when
Okay.
you do something you don't want it to be too strong, depending on what you want to do. But
So
usually,
what command is going to show me show me those options to know?
so iPhone. So in Linux, anything you want to, any command you want to find the option, just do the type the command and do iPhone H,
Okay, yeah,
which
okay,
is help. So it will give you all the options that you have.
okay,
You see and you see, can show you the usage options, password length, the number of password you need to capitalize. So if you want it in capital letter, you can say and capitalize everything. Capitalize. Can see. So okay. So the other one is Open SSL. Open SSL. You can also do iPhone H. Let's check what Open SSL. You see, you can see Open SSL. So Open SSL is a very robust command. It can do a lot of things. So these are standard command under Open SSL. So for you to understand Open SSL, you may need to do beyond Open SSL. So this Open SSL particularly is used for encryption. So it does a lot. You can do a lot with it apart from generating passwords. So if you want to study what it can do, what you do is open SSL, do manual. Sorry. You can see this one will open. So if you type MAN followed by the command, MAN usually stands for manual in Linux. In this kind of Linux, most if you type MAN and type anything, it will open the manual for it. So where you can see the details of what that command can actually do. So here you can see OpenSSL, the name, the description, what what it can do. You can keep checking. It has a lot of features there. Description, OpenSSL. You can see the description here. OpenSSL is a cryptographic toolkit. So it's for encryption, implementing SSL and TLS network protocols and related cryptography standards required by them. So it's a program, is a command line program for various cryptography functions. So OpenSSL's crypto library from the shell. For using, it has a crypto library. Crypto, when it's a crypto library, you mean cryptographic library. That's what it's saying. And it can be used for creating and managing of private keys. You can use to create public key, you can use to creating certificates, calculating message digest and message authentication code, encryption and decryption of ciphers. So which is what we are, the area where we are playing, handling, doing SSL, TSL clients. Sorry, I've moved back. SSL, TLS clients have address, timestamp. So you can use it to do a lot of things. Okay, so let's go back to terminal here and see. So we want to use it to create password in this case. Now, it can even create password based on different. If you look at the manual, you can use to create password in different algorithm or in different formats. You can create password in base 10, base 64, normal figure. So let's try to do something, a random number, to generate just a random password in base 64. So you do open SSL random base 64. Let's see how many figures. Let's see 10. Can you see?
Yes.
You can see the difference. So this one is generating. It's generating and it did 10 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In base 64, not 10 characters. Sorry, 10 characters. Oh, what did I do? Okay, so we can do. Let me do 2. You can see it's quite. Its own password is much stronger because it's an encryption tool.
Yeah.
A password generator that one just basically generates password, but this one it goes a little bit higher. So basically, this is password generation. You can use OpenSSL to do a lot of other things, like can generate encryption keys. Generate SSL. We're still going to touch a little bit about that. So let's move on. Let me see. Something about encryption. So let me switch my screen. How to switch screen to the other screen? How is it going there? Has it finished?
Let me check. I think it has, but it failed.
Phil, type the PW gen. Is it showing green now?
Let me type it. No.
You may need to just try and reinstall that Kali.
But this OSS Open SSL is opening.
Oh, the OpenSSL is working, so you can try now. You can see my screen now, so you can try that can try the command that I'm using. Have you tried it?
I'm trying to try it. Oh.
How is it going?
I'm on it.
You're supposed to do it quickly. It's just a single line of command. Okay.
Yes,
You
yes,
can.
I've done it.
Okay. So you can see that works. You know, kind of fast. Can use to generate password, much stronger password.
Okay.
Okay, so like I said, like you can see on the screen. Oh, where's my screen, sir? Okay, so essence of password generation is to reduce risk of brute force. Generating strong passwords reduces brute force attacks. So there's this thing about encryption. Now, encryption basically, like I mentioned earlier, encryption is so converting your data into unreadable format so that if somebody intercepts your communication and has your data, the person will not be able to understand it because the person doesn't have the key. So, and the reason for encryption is because there's a text. I don't want to change that text permanently into something that I cannot read again. You understand? I just want it to be protected. Confidentiality is what we are looking at. So as me and you were talking now, definitely I need you to hear what I'm saying, but I don't want any other person to hear what we are saying. So if I'm speaking in codes, I need to give you the key for you to understand the code. So I need to tell you that maybe every time I mention A or in my word, it means I want to say the opposite. It means whatever I say after is the opposite. So you need to have that key to understand it. So because what we are doing with encryption, what encryption is doing is confidentiality. So, and that is why encryption usually is reversible because it means if I encrypt it and give it to you, you must be able to decrypt it, reverse it back and understand. So it's for confidentiality. And then we have two types of encryption. Basically, we have the symmetric and asymmetric. Symmetric simply means that the code that I'm using to encrypt it here is the same code that we are going to use to decrypt it. So if the code here to encrypt is to add A to every statement that I make, at the end of every statement I add A to it, it means if you are going to decrypt it, you know that you are going to remove A from the statement, every statement I make for you to understand it. And so we have a tool also. So this GPG tool is for you can use to encrypt and also decrypt when you don't need any what they call it, need
A third
any
party
key.
to it.
Any key. It's just between you. Okay, but before we go to the demonstration to go and check it out on the Kali, let me quickly talk about asymmetric. Asymmetric means that the key that you are going to, the key for decrypting is different from the key for encrypting. So now I'm talking to you. What it means that I need for you to understand, what I'm saying. You will give me a word, a code for me to send the message to you. But the code with which you will unlock it is going to be different. So it means like, for example, it means if every word I say, you tell me that if I'm talking to you, for every word I say, I should add ed at the end. Now, when it gets to you, what you use to unlock it will not just be removing the ED. After removing the ED, you might need to also maybe now add YZ or something else to it, meaning that there are two keys existing. So there's a key with which I'm communicating to you, and then you need another key to unlock it, but that key is only known to you. So it happens in a case where you are talking to or you are receiving communication from several people. So I am talking to you. Let's assume Derek is here. Derek is talking to you. Femi is here. Femi is talking to you. Several of us are trying to talk to you. All of us will have your public key. Your public key is that anything will tell you you had ED to it. We always had ED. So everybody talking to you will be having ED. But when the message gets to you, you need a key, a special key for you to unlock it. The essence is that if somebody gets hold of that message, even the person, despite the fact the person needs the ED to lock it and send the message to you, the person still needs your private key to understand it. And the good thing about the asymmetric is that because a lot of people are talking to you, if my message escapes you and gets to somebody else, it will be useless to the person, because the person does not, anybody that wants to talk to you, okay, or this way, anybody that wants to talk to you that doesn't have that public key, if the person tries to talk to you, you will not get it, or you will not understand, or you will not interpret it, because the person does not have your public key to communicate to you. Do you understand? So it's like
Yes.
giving people access to you. That's the public key. So anybody that you want, it's like giving people free tickets. Everybody that wants to talk to you, anybody that doesn't have the ticket cannot talk to you. But anybody that has the ticket can talk to you. So when they talk to you, you will not have your own private key for which you unlock the conversation. So public key is usually used for like things in websites, a public website where thousands or hundreds of thousands of people need to access it. But it still needs to be, coded. So now all those thousands of people will code it and send the message. But because they are public, they can't understand it. Me, I'll be speaking to you. The person sitting beside me speaking the same thing to you will not be able to understand what I spoke to you, even though we are using the same public key. I can only lock it. I can't unlock it. The code for unlocking is in your hand. So it means that it is like, I put a lock, I buy padlock. It's like a master key. Okay, the way to explain is a master key thing. You have a master key that can unlock every padlock. But we only have the padlock. You gave us padlock. The key to lock the padlock, to unlock the padlock, the key to open the padlock is in your hand. But you gave us a padlock that is already open, so that anytime we are sending a message to you, we just use that padlock the bag or padlock the box and send it to you. So if I'm sending it, if the box does not get to you and get to somebody else, the person will still not be able to unlock it. But every box that manages to get to you, you have a key to unlock all of them, because you are the one that gave all of us the padlock, which is the public key. So that's the way asymmetric, but basically it has public and the private key. That's what asymmetric does. Now let me switch back to my to this screen. I want to switch back to and see just a quick demonstration of this encryption now. Alias entered sleep mode. Okay. So here we are using GPG. Okay, you can see here. So I type GPG. It's expecting me to give it a message. Let me exit it. Let's do GPG type H. So you can see GPG is a little bit advanced too. So it explains GPG. This is free software, supported algorithms. So these are the algorithms, the GPG, RSA, ELG. These are all the kind of algorithm. So algorithm is like the code, the kind of code, that you can use to encrypt, So the syntax is, this is the syntax. GPG, you pick an option, then you pick the file. Then what you do is you sign, you check, you encrypt or decrypt. So these are the things you can do. You can use GPG to sign, to check, to encrypt and decrypt. So if you understand encryption in website, for example, it means that if I publish a website now, I will sign it with a key that will make anybody that sees it to know that yes, it is coming from me. You understand? So that's where SSL work and TSS. So we have some organizations or authorities that approve those signatures. Those are certificate authorities, But we are not going to that one today. What we are just talking about encryption generally. So these two GPG you can use to encrypt the file. So now in this case, so you create a file. Let's start with what we did the other thing. Password gen. Let's use password gen to let's create a file with password gen. You can see what's inside. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so this is what is inside the password. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 passwords now. Now I want to send this password to someone, this file to someone, but I don't want anybody that gets hold of this password, of this file, to be able to see the password inside it. So I will now encrypt. Now, the next thing is that I will now encrypt the file that contains the password. So I will just do -C. Let me see what -C. Let me see the option we can use here. Where are the options? Symmetric. So now this -C means symmetric. It means there is no big deal about unlocking it. The same key that I used to lock it is the same key that I used to
Decrypt it.
decrypt it. So good. So I will GPG -C. Now password
Plus.
So simply that's all. So once I do that, it will encrypt it. Oh, it's even asking me for password. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah. So you say I should
Is it your
enter it.
Cadley password?
No. So this one I'm creating a password for that. I'm encrypting it now.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I need a what they call it, a
A
password to encrypt it.
decryption.
Let me just use Kali too, so that I won't forget. Okay. You have entered an insecure passphrase. So it's even telling me that the passphrase is not secure. So you said it should be at least 8 characters long, at least 1 digit. You understand? So, but because
Just for
it's just for class, so you just take this like that, take it like that. So it has encrypted it.
So I can't just cut this one.
Let's see what happens. Of course, because I'm on the is here, it's still, if any user logs in now, if this file gets in somebody's hand, and the person tries to open it, it will not open. But because I'm the creator of the file is still on my this thing. That's why. So for I wish, hold on, let me see. Let's see. I would see if you take. I don't want to. I don't have it. I only have one user here. If I log, there's no other user I can use to log in. I will have logged in with a different user and check if how it will behave. How can I then create any user? But basically, that's what it is anyway. So So if you want to decrypt it, it's still the same GPG you use. You understand? It's just the opposite of what you did. So this time GPG secret text dot GPG. Can you see my screen? This one pass forward dot GPG. So you can see it's telling me one in no command supply, trying to guess what you mean. Encrypted with one file password exists override. What did I do? Yes. So normally, because this password, this file still exists on the same, this file, the original file still exists on the same folder. That's why it's doing. Normally, if I want to, I shouldn't be the one decrypting this file on this system. If I encrypt it, I'm supposed to have sent it to maybe someone like you, and you will not try to decrypt it. Do you understand? Hello? I see here.
Yeah, I'm here. I,
Oh,
I thought I forgot I mute my.
okay. So what I'm
Yeah.
saying is like, normally the original file is not supposed to be this my um on this my what do you call it, on this system. It's not supposed to be in this folder itself. Okay, maybe let me do something. Oh, he's asking me to enter a new file. Okay, it should work now. If you look at the command I type here, I type gpg password class.txt.
Yeah.
Now I try, because I'm trying to decrypt this, the encrypted file. So let me give it a different name. Now that I'm decrypted, I will decrypt it into a different
Name.
name, so that we can see now the concept. Let me go to pass pass dot txt. Just put it there. Okay, so let's see. Start. What's inside to pass dot txt? Can you see? Do you understand what happened there now? Hello?
Yeah, I'm with you, sir.
Yeah, so I encrypted, if you look at my screen, I encrypted this password class.
Yeah.
I encrypted it. So after encryption, I now try to decrypt it back to decrypt it. Now, when I try to decrypt it, it's telling me that a file already exists because that one file is still there. So I changed the name. So
Yeah.
my decryption, I told it to decrypt it inside a different
It's a
file.
different file. Okay.
Exactly. So now
The decryption is the symmetric equation, you use this hyphen C. So the decryption is just GPG
it's just
and
GPG.
the file
There's
name.
no exactly. There's no special
There's no special
character.
text to
If
use.
it was asymmetric now, at the point of decryption, that's where I would have selected a different a different option, a different tag. See here now. Here you
Okay.
can make a clear text signature, make it encrypt data, symmetric decrypt, yeah, verify.
The decrypt showed hyphen D. So
Yes,
the
and because
decrypt,
if for example, if you send me a file now and
yes.
I receive it and I want to decrypt it, I may need to put the hyphen D. But because
Okay.
that file exists in my folder already,
Okay.
that's why just typing the GPG, you know, the alternative to what I did was, what I did there was to see, I put dot GPG, understand? So if I didn't put dot GPG, I could have used GPG hyphen D. That would have made the difference. So these are all the things you can do with GPG, but basically it's just for understanding, having a broad knowledge of the concept. You can also study. You can open the manual on your system. If you do manual GPG, is the GPG working on your system?
I haven't tried it.
Try it. Let's see. The Open SSL works, so GPG might also work.
It work.
Work a bit. So
Yeah.
if you check the manual, you can read about it. You type MAN, this GPG, you will see this screen that I'm looking at, and you can see all the things about it. Every detail about it is there, so you can take time and read it. Manual details. So that is encryption. So now we're going to hashing. Like I mentioned earlier on, like is explained. I'm trying to stop the sharing and share the other screen. Okay, you can see my screen now. So this is password hashing. So like I explained, the difference between encryption and hashing is the fact that the major difference is that encryption can be reversed, hashing cannot be reversed. And the other things about encryption, the difference is that encryption uses keys, hashing does not use it. Hashing use basically algorithms. And these algorithms, when they convert a text or a number or convert any file, it always has a fixed length and unique. It's always having a fixed length and unique. So, and the main purpose of hashing, the main purpose of what they call it, main purpose of encryption is confidentiality, because I'm communicating with you. I want to code what we're. I don't want people to understand what we're saying. I encrypt it. But for hashing, the main purpose is for storage. And let me ask you, if we are hashing for storage, which of the three things is important to something that we store? Out of the confidentiality, integrity, and availability, which of them is very important for something that we are going to store somewhere? Or which of them
Awesome.
eh?
Please come again with the question.
I said, I said encryption is for confidentiality.
Yes.
I want privacy in what we are saying. Don't want people to understand what we're saying. That's why we encrypt it. But I need you to be able to understand it. That's why you would decrypt it. Now, hashing, you cannot, when you hash a password, you cannot reverse. It's permanently converted to that, and it's always a fixed length, and it's always unique.
Yeah.
That means the password, well, if the hash of a word of a file, whether it's password, whether it's a text, whether it's a video, if you hash any file, it's always unique. It maintains that state in which it is. So, and we said it's for purposes of storage, so that when we store something, we hash it and we store it. What do you think we are protecting there?
The integrity.
Exactly. Basically, because it means that if it stays intact, it can't change. If there's the smallest change to that file, it will give you a different hash. So the way it's being used is like when you sign up in a website or a portal or any device that accept your password and it uses hashing to store your password, what it does
Yeah.
is that it will store your password like those other systems that use encryption, you know, or when those websites that stores your password in their database or somewhere where it can be hacked. In this case, once they take your password, they will store it as they will convert it to a hash. The system automatically converts to a hash and it keeps
Yeah.
the hash. So anytime you are coming to login, it will always convert anything you input to hash and will not compare the hash with the hash they have in their storage.
Okay.
So if it matches, then it means you are typing the right thing. If there's any small change, even if it's just small space or caps that is changing, that's why. Have you seen any website? Some websites that they will tell you that uh, is case sensitive.
I think I've seen it before.
Yeah,
Yes.
there is plenty places. You see when they tell you are typing a password and they tell you this password is case sensitive. That is, if you put small next time if you want to type this password, if you put small s instead of uh, capital S, it will not work. You know, they use it in places. Maybe you are writing an exam and they tell you that answer this exam in, you know, the exam is the what you are typing is case sensitive. That means most likely they are using hashing because it means that whatever you type, it will compare it with what they already have. And if it doesn't match, there is no magic you can do. The thing will not accept it. You know, I remember there was a time when I was doing some training and I was, you know, we are solving some, you know, we are trying to crack some password and solve some questions. And then whatever you get, answer you get, you just put the answer in the option and press enter. No matter how close you are to the answer, if you don't get exact answer that they have in their system, it will not accept it because they have hashed it. So once there's a smallest change in the value in the input, the output will be different. So that is the perfect good thing about hash. So that even if somebody steals the breaks into your system and steals your password, you know, which are hashed password, the person will not know the original word that became that hash, and they can't reverse that hash. So that's the beauty of, you know, using hashing. So let's quickly see what hashing
So
looks like.
you said all hash tests they are all the same numbers when it's hash.
So what I mean is that they are fixed length, the
Okay,
length.
okay,
If
fixed
it's
length.
length,
Okay,
if it's 32 bits, for example, if
okay.
you look at my screen, you see MD5, SHA1, SHA256, bcrypt.
Yeah,
These are
sure.
different algorithms that they use to hash.
Okay.
So it's a mathematical algorithm. So if, for example, if you put a word as input, this algorithm will convert it to something. So MD5 has its own uniqueness. MD5 is different from SHA1. So if, for example, and one of the differences is usually their the size, their length. I can't remember exactly now. MD5, let's say MD5 is 32 bits. It means that every time you use MD5 to hash anything, you always get a 32-bit length of output.
Okay.
Let's say SHA256 is 256 bits. So whatever, so if you hash, let's say the word plantain, if you hash the word plantain with MD5, you get a 32-bit output. If you hash the word plantain with SHA256, the length of the output will be 256 bits. Do you understand? So that's the difference between these algorithms that they use to hash. But if you hash plantain with 256, the output you get will be 256. I mean, will be 256 bits. If you hash Job with SHA256, the length will still be the same 256. If you hash the word thank God it's Friday, if you hash that word with 250 SHA256, the output you will still get is still 256. So no matter what you hash, if you upload a video file and you hash it with SHA256, the output you will get is still be 256. You know, that's the
Okay.
length to be consistent. So that's what he's saying there. That the length will always be the same thing. So let's just demonstrate and see what we're talking about. Share my screen and see what it's saying. Okay, you can see my screen now.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say let's start with MD5. You can see immediately I put MD5 some, it's even accepting it. But that's not the okay. So there are two ways. Remember, we can use Open SSL, the tool we used earlier on. We can use it and can also use uh this MD5. So MD5 is a type of algorithm. SHA1 is a type of algorithm. SHA-256 is a type of algorithm. There are also some other types of algorithm. So we are going to just deal with MD5 and SHA, the one that we have just mentioned now. So the same, okay, yes. In fact, good. We have what they call it. We have okay. We have a file. Okay, before we use the file, let me use a word first. I wanted to hash a text, a file, but let's hash a word first and to compare it. So let's say echo uh, -n the my screen
Yeah.
is plantain.
The echo command is to write inside it. A test, right?
It's basically if you are writing a text, it's like writing something
Yes.
inside
A test.
a text. It will create that
Okay.
variable that you are echoing, like echoing it. It's like putting it inside a place. So now it will basically like create it too. So what are we looking at there? So we want to hash it in MD5 sum. So sometimes people follow different pattern. This is MD5 sum. Sorry, I put. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
So what we do is it will convert this. So Echo, basically what Echo is doing is that Echo will print something on the screen. It's like display. Yes, that's the word. And it's like I'm saying display this thing on my screen. That's what Echo is doing. It's not just writing. Do you understand?
Okay.
It's like Echo this planting. So what I'm saying, this command is saying that it should display this word in this algorithm format. So it will hash it using this algorithm and show me and display the output. So let's see. Can you see it? This is my screen.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so let's do it again. I want to just put instead of if you look at it very well, I'm going to change this capital P to let me change this L to capital L. You can see the difference. Even from the first letter, you can see it's different.
Yes, I can see it.
If you count it, let's try and do see if you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. You see what I counted?
It's 32, I counted.
32. No
Yeah.
matter the length of what I do, it will always be 32. So let's try it. Echo the let's put the plantain farm is always
I
gated.
want to join with my phone. My laptop is down.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah,
you're
let
almost
me
running
join
up.
my.
But will you see the screen on? Is it
Let
down
me see.
already? You said? Hello? Okay, it's already off. Are you still here?
trying to manage it. The thing went off.
Okay. But you can see the screen with this one.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. So you see what I did now? See, I did a hash of the plantain farm is always gated and 2008. It's
Okay.
still showing, it still came out 32.
Yes.
Let me do MD. Let me do. Okay, let me use. I want to so that you see it. Echo and pass. You remember? See the password file. I want to encrypt it. I want to hash it.
Okay.
It's still. You can see that it's still the same 32. So now, you know what we do? Let's say cards.
Space.
Okay. So what I want to do is I want to change the content of this and we'll compare it. If you see what we got here.
Yes.
So if somebody, for example, gets hold, gets hold of
This file.
this file and change. Let's use our PW gen. Let me change it now to. Let me change. This one should change it. You can see that the content is different now.
Yes.
So let's do the hash for this one. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't change it. Never mind. I didn't. Oh, okay. So what he did here was this statement that he did. He didn't encrypt the file as a file. He just encrypted this. What I would do is MD5. Okay. Can you see? So let me change it again. Let's go back and do that. What I will do now is I will change. I'm sure the content has changed. By this one, the content will have changed. Let's go back to MD5. Can you see now?
Yes.
See the difference. So if somebody tampered with, so if I store this MD5 in my database or wherever, immediately someone sends a file to me and is claiming that okay, this is the file. Immediately I run the hash of it, I will know no, somebody has changed it. Somebody has changed it. So this is how hash, and it works for all the, whether it's SHA1. This one will not work like this because it's not this SHA1. Let me see. 256. So this one will not work like this. But I can use, if I want to do SHA 256 now, I can use I have to put some. I have to put some there. Sorry. 256. Some. You understand? I have to put some. So do you get the? You follow the stuff?
Yes, I'm getting it.
Okay.
How the algorithm work?
Okay. So let me see if we can touch on any other thing. Okay, so that is the same thing for, you can try out for SHA some, you can try out for, SHA 1, and you can try out for every one of them. Let's see. Now let me go back to the, lesson screen. Okay, so you can, you can also use OpenSSL to carry out the hashing.
Hashing.
Yes. So basically, okay. So I have some. Maybe I should copy this one, send to you, so that you can have this one to practice. Hash the password MD5. So this is how you use the OpenSSL to do it. Now, the differences between the MD5, SHA1, SHA256. Basically, you'll be wondering why we have different types, because they are more secure than each other. So
Okay.
MD5 has 128 bits, 32 characters. SHA1 has 160 bits, which is 40 characters. 256 has 256 bits, which is 64 characters.
64.
So no matter what you are encrypting with, and what you are encrypting with this one, you always, sorry. Okay. Can you see my screen?
No, it's not showing now.
Wow. Oh, please stop sharing. Okay, let me share it again. I don't know what I pressed. I just stop sharing. Can you see now?
Yes, it's back.
Okay, so no matter what you are doing, they are always having this constant figure. Now you can see MD5 and SHA1, they are not as secure. And you know these things, technology changes. So hackers, technologies are coming up that are trying to way. Okay, so let me explain something. If you look at this one, you see broken collisions found, collisions found. What collisions found means is that they found out that it has happened that
They break into it.
no, not they didn't break into it. What happens is like the same two different words or two different inputs had the same, they had the same output. Do you understand?
Okay. Yes.
So they found out that maybe they type plantain and then they type plantains and they hashed both of them and they came up with the same hash.
Okay.
So that's the collision that they talked about. So both of them are not, use case, they are depreciated. So 256 is what, it has a higher file integrity used in TLS. They use it to protect use case for file integrity, TLS, crypto. And this one, bcrypt. Bcrypt, difference between bcrypt is hash and salt. So the salt hash. So salting means that if Salting is used like, the other time I said if you type in your password into a device, the device will hash it before storing it. And then every time you come, it will hash whatever input and compare with what it has in storage. So salting means that before hashing the password you provide, which is the input, they will put a random number, a random variable, random text. They just put something randomly and add it to your password. For example, if your password now, let's say your password is plantation, they may decide to add their own salt may be 1313. Do you understand? So what they will now hash is plantation 1313. So if I come to that site, I may and I put my own password is let's say my password is banana. So what they will hash is not banana. What they will hash is banana 1313. It's just to make it stronger so that even if because sometimes people hack into the system and they will collect those hash passwords, and then they will be trying different words. So what they will be doing is that they will not be trying to hash different words and be comparing with your hash. So they cannot go and get a library of different words that people use for password, and then they'll be converting it to hash. They will guess, okay, maybe it's SHA-256 that this device is using. So they'll be guessing they'll be trying using software to hash all the different words with 256 and trying to see if it will match the hashes that they have. You understand? So even if they now guess the right word, they will not know the salt that you added to it. Do you understand?
Yes.
So
Yes, sir.
that's the salt. That's the salting. That's just basically what salting means. So the differences between is that MD5 and SHA1, they are very fast, and so they are vulnerable to brute force and collision attacks because they can randomly be generated. Take the algorithm doing it is faster. So the faster, the easier to crack. So they are vulnerable to brute force. SHA-250 is more secure, but not ideal for storing password too, because it's still fast. So the software can run through billions of words and compare it, just like I explained just now. But Protect is specifically designed for password hashing because of that salting. Salting makes it more secure. So you can't brute force it because even if you are guessing the words, the words that people use, you won't know the salt that the software or the system added to it, and then it becomes very, very difficult, if not impossible, to hash. So that is the end. So I expect you to practice. Thank God your Linux is up, so you can practice.
Can I get this
Those commands, Abby?
this command, this PDF, this slide that you
You have me on this so I can share it on WhatsApp. I can send it to you via WhatsApp. Okay, good. So we are looking at common attacks. I feel this is also a foundational topic in cybersecurity